If you run a peptide brand, you've already figured out that you literally cannot advertise your product. Meta will ban you, Google will ban you, TikTok will ban you. And the problem is the demand is literally right there, but you're stuck because every single growth channel is blocking you. But there is one growth channel that is completely wide open that can take your brand from $0 to $100,000, if not millions of dollars per month. This is the exact playbook that we've executed both ourselves for brands that join Roster, which is a creator marketplace and creator campaign management system, as well as we've seen and talked to our customers that simply just use the product by themselves, and we've literally seen them scale from 0 to these numbers with this exact strategy. I will explain to you exactly how to replicate this from your brand step by step. For context, we've worked with hundreds and hundreds of brands, thousands and thousands of creators on campaigns ranging from simple consumer apps that have nothing to do with peptide brands to more regulated industry like cannabis products. And most recently, over 30% of the customers on Roster are peptide brands. Everything I say is simply what I've seen work for peptide brands who are trying to scale, our experience working with them, and what I've seen them do by themselves. This is not legal advice. This is not medical advice. Follow what I'm saying at your own risk. I'm simply here to explain the marketing system. Okay, perfect. So what is the system that I've been hyping up? It is simply organic marketing. And peptides are such a hot space that for organic marketing, you don't even need to name your brand in the video or even in the comments. You have to stop thinking of yourself as a standard e-commerce brand where organic is just one channel in your big marketing strategy, where you can just switch the ad spend whenever you want. That is not going to work for you as a peptide brand. Even though there are strategies like cloaking to be able to run ads for your peptide brand, if you want to be safe and make sure your primary distribution channel doesn't get shut down one day to the other out of nowhere, organic is your best bet. I'm saying this because there are hundreds, if not thousands of peptide brands that are trying to crack Meta, TikTok ads. And even if your ads has nothing to do with peptides, if there's a mention of a peptide or research peptides in your landing page, you're at risk of getting your account banned. This is exactly how I'm going to structure this video, walking through every single step of this. Number one, I will explain to you exactly how to find the right creators for your peptide brand and exactly for the peptide that you're selling. And then I'll explain exactly what content these creators should be making for you in order to maximize for conversion and revenue, and why one format compared to another might be better for you. Finally, how to actually scale the strategy beyond just a few creators. And I will also walk you through exactly what compensation for the creators should be to optimize your creator program for future scale. Now, what type of creators should you be hiring? So just because you're a peptide brand does not mean that you're immune to the standard rules of business. You need to have a very clear ICP. The brands that perform the best are the brands that know exactly who they're selling to and orient their whole creator program around a specific ideal customer profile. And that is also really important because your website needs to have a UI and experience that resonates with that customer specifically. You're a peptide brand. The pain points that you're solving might be weight loss, bad skin. Figure out exactly what that is and who the audience that would buy that has the most money to spend and that would be most valuable to you is. For example, a lot of times where you're selling peptides that may lead to weight loss, you're selling to older women. Those are the people that have the most money. You could sell to Gen Z, but they will just have less money to spend on your products. So it makes more sense to go after customers that have a lot more money in their pocket that they can then give to you. And once you figure out exactly who your ICP is, you need to make sure creators that you do end up working with match that ICP exactly. You could have a Gen Z girl, a college girl, talk to a 50-year-old mom, but who do you think she's gonna listen more to? Someone that is her age, acts as if she's had a similar life experience as her, or someone that has a completely different life than her. So make sure your creators match the ICP you're specifically targeting. And I've seen brands target all kinds of demographics. I've seen brands target older moms, older men, college guys in their late 20s. I'm sure there's a peptide for each demographic. So just figure out who exactly you are trying to sell to. Once you've identified that, you need to go out and find your creators. There's a couple of ways to do this. Obviously, you can pull from your personal network. And if you are trying to partner with someone to actually scale this as almost like your marketing sidekick, then that's definitely something you can do. But if you're trying to build a program at scale, you're gonna have to use the software like what we built. We have a marketplace of over 10,000 creators and a massive database of millions of creators scraped from all over TikTok and Instagram and every social media you can think of. Here's the important part. Start with a smaller roster first so you can establish the formats that work and then scale them. Because if you start with a massive roster, then every mistake you make will be a lot more expensive for absolutely no reason. When you can be more patient, make sure you have the systems in place and then go in and scale properly. So let's say you found your creators. Now, how much should these creators be compensated? There's a lot of campaigns that I've seen peptide brands run. Everything from retainers, CPM bonuses, base pay, a yearly salary, to even affiliate gifted only campaigns. And I would say this is the only niche that has completely different rules compared to other e-commerce brands. This is specifically from what we've seen as a team. When selling to an older audience, whether it's older women or older men, a lot of times, very counterintuitively, these people are a lot more willing to gift their product in exchange for the content that they're gonna produce. And this is because they most likely feel the problem a lot stronger than your average college kid, who probably just wants to buy peptides to get more jacked than his peers. year. This was very surprising to us at first, but we've seen affiliate-only campaigns work incredibly well. If you're selling to Gen Z or you're selling to a bit of a younger audience, a lot of times the best structure from what we've seen is have a monthly retainers or a base pay on top of CPM. And then if your program does scale, then it does make sense to bring them on full time. And also when it comes to the younger demographic, it's always better to choose more attractive creators, whereas it doesn't matter as much when you go towards older creators. But obviously young people are a lot more impressionable. So if you do put like a very attractive girl or a very attractive guy in front of them, they'll be like, oh, if I take this, I could just become them. So what should you actually have these creators post? Once again, I'll split this up depending on demographic groups. A lot of you by default will think I should have these creators post saying, oh my God, I lost so much weight because of this peptide. Oh my God, I look so handsome because of this peptide. Number one, that's like the easiest way to get your creator's account taken down. Instagram, TikTok, literally take accounts down because people make promises about detox supplements, which a lot of times is just vitamins mixed with water. So while you can imply these transformations, be very, very wary of telling your creators to make it fully explicit. Another format that we've seen work really, really well, specifically for peptide brand owners that are trying to build something more long-term and not just have a quick cash grab, is an educational content. And this actually works really well for every demographic. Put a creator in front of the camera that is literally just gonna explain the positive impacts that a specific peptide may or may not have for you. And the surprising thing about both of these formats that I described earlier is that because it's such a hot space, there's such a big need for peptides and people want to get their hands on it, your comment section is going to be flooded with questions. Where do I find these peptides? How do I get it? That's why you don't actually need to mention the product in the video itself. And sometimes you don't even need to mention it in the comments. You can literally just tell people to DM you and send them a link to buy it. Specifically, if you're running affiliate campaigns, it's in your best interest to direct comments or requests for where people got their peptides to the creator's DMs. That way they can send them an affiliate link without Instagram detecting it in the caption, and you can actually properly track your creator's commission. Another style of content that also works very well is content where you don't even have to mention the product at all. You just have it placed strategically within the creator's video. Sometimes a lot of brands will literally just have very attractive girls have a syringe in their mouth or holding up peptides. Because the image hits so strongly, because it's almost strange to see someone that looks innocent or attractive just holding like what basically looks like steroids in their hand, that by itself will go viral. And once again, the comments will be flooded with people asking where they can get their hands on it, and then you can turn that attention into sales. And something that I've seen massive brands like Peptide, which make probably millions of dollars every single month, is instead of going after people that are already posting content, trying to convince them to make these videos for their brand, they literally find creators that they can fully own. People that may have never posted on social media, they have them start a brand new account. All of their content is about peptide. And that's how you can actually build a proper content and organic marketing machine for your brand. Because then you fully own these accounts. You almost own like the likeness of this person who's just going to make videos every single day about your brand. Peptide has done this with creators and scaled accounts to over 500,000 followers. And every single video that you can look at is about peptides in some way. And if not every video, every other video. The most successful peptide brands are literally creating their own influencers. You can start with doing one-time deals with creators, but if you do really want to build something long-term, you either create your own influencers or bring influencers, micro-influencers, or just creators that don't have any following inside your team and turn them into your own creators. And a lot of times, because the product is so expensive, creators will make so much money off of commission that they will do everything so they can stay with you. From a legal standpoint as well, there are literally laws in place. If the creator makes a claim that is inaccurate about a certain product, not only the brand is fully liable, but the creator is actually liable too. So you're putting yourself at risk by making very explicit promises when it comes to your specific product. Now, I already mentioned this very, very clearly, but how are we going to go from a single video to actual sales? So like I said, there's two ways to do it. One of it is the one I don't recommend and you shouldn't do at all, which is mentioning your product brand name in the video. The best way to do it is to do it either through the comments or tell people to DM you and actually send them the product link. This will keep you very safe, but also because there's so much competition in the peptide space, you don't want other brands knowing exactly which creators you own. If your creator is constantly commenting your brand in the comments, competitors will literally just see which accounts are associated with you. And then you can just use that as intelligence to then make deals against you. Because of what I mentioned and because of the legal issues that you may run into while having creators endorse your product, something that is very important for your creators to do is to make sure to not publicly fully endorse your product. That means the creator should not say, hey, I got mine through whatever peptides.com. You should definitely go buy it. That's a terrible CTA that will probably get you into legal trouble. That's why the best move is to have creators have a CTA template where they clearly state that they're not associated with your brand, that they're not responsible for anything that comes through their recommendation, but they are simply stating that this is the peptide that they personally use. So all these rules is what I'm explaining to you and that we need to be really careful with. But you have to make sure all your creators are also fully briefed on this and they understand the lines that they can't cross. And something that is very helpful that we've seen is actually looking at a creator's history. Someone who is willing to endorse a peptide brand has probably endorsed cannabis brands, or vape brands, or anything that is slightly in a gray zone before. So you have to make sure those creators are able to stay within the rules, because someone that plays loose with your brand's name and what they actually mention in the videos is going to get your brand in trouble. So make sure to do a background check on every creator. before you onboard them onto the team. Okay, so now let's say you have 2 or 3 creators that you're working with profitably, but you want to scale beyond that, right? The way you do that is very similar to the way you would scale any other organic campaign. However, because you're running a peptide brand, you have to be incredibly careful because you have all these rules that you as a brand need to follow, but also your creators need to follow. That's why a lot of times you have to be a lot more careful before bringing in someone else to run the operations. In order to actually scale fast beyond a 2 or 3 creator program, it is always best to have your creators film a testimonial about how it's been working with your brand. That is something that will highly incentivize other creators, especially if you're running affiliate-only campaigns, where some creators are just a little bit hesitant to work with a brand like yours. The testimonials will remove those mental objections or those mental limitations that they have before agreeing to actually work with you. And finally, all this clunky and slow process that I described to you, once you've actually figured out what works best for you based on the different alternatives that I gave you or other alternatives that you find out yourself, you turn this into a proper system where every step of the creator onboarding is properly documented in detail so that anyone else can come in and literally copy and paste what you've done. And there's a guarantee that it will work out the exact same way. And that's how you properly scale. Once you have systems that you can 2x, 3x, 4x this over and over again. The only issue is that this is a really new space, so you never know what the industry is going to look like in 3, 4, 5 months, or even a single month. So everything you do, be very careful and make sure to always look at where the market is moving. So that's the system. Accept that creators are your primary channel. Try to lead with education as much as possible and never with claims. Brief every creator on compliance before they film. Make sure your creators are matched to the right audience. Protect the brand and then turn this into a massive organic engine. As you know, the really hard part from this is the operations, not necessarily getting something moving or getting sales, the operations that will actually allow you to scale your brand. And that's exactly why we built Ross. And it's why brands in the tougher categories do use our service. You can run a fully compliant creator engine. You can go from just your brand's website to a fully ready organic marketing campaign or a paid ads campaign or affiliate marketing program in less than 72 hours. You have everything from a massive database of creators to the full management system, contracts, briefing, compliance, payouts, everything in one place. Or if you want us to manage your campaign for you and get rid of all this headache, you can reach out to us on the website as well. If this helped, please subscribe. I break down how to run successful marketing campaigns in every single video, and I will see you in the next one.